Hello everyone, my name is Spectrumal, and today we'll be playing more Sims 4. Yes, today I am here back with a, basically like a little bit of episode. I think I was looking at everything and, you know, it was kind of painful. I noticed, painfully enough, that there was no, how do I say it? There was basically nothing that I could do anymore on that lot, on the old lot. We, of course, had our Celeste Outer Gym, and you may look at the title right now of this video and think, hey, but this is A, not a Speedball Sunday video, B, it is called not Celeste Outer Gym or something. No, this is, you know, the setup basically for our ranch. Last episode, as you may have known, you know, Luz became very unhappy, or Deer, actually, not Luz. Deer became very unhappy, and one of the reasons was that she's not doing anything with her life, and what she did want to do was create a, you know, she wanted to become an amazing writer. I'm not sure if she will become, you know, the best writer there ever will be, and you know, that there will ever be, but she can at least try and get some fulfillment in her life. And last episode we were of course looking at like, okay, where do we go from here? I wanted to buy a ranch for her somewhere else. We actually did buy a ranch somewhere else, you know, and we tried to figure that out. I tried to figure it out off screen. I tried to look at like, can we make this happen like properly or not? And the answer was unfortunately very much no. At least from what I was gathering, basically when I went home, the horse came along. You know, the horse needed a place to sleep, it needed a place to chill, be, you know, and I didn't want to have, you know, just a horse on a lot where there would be no horse things, if that makes sense. That we would have to be like so very much around the horse ranch where we wouldn't be, you know, actually like be able to play on the other lot anymore. And I was like, okay, that's not what I would like. It's not what I, you know, would really want. And I looked at things and I was like, okay, well, do I then like remove the horse? And I don't know what it was, guys, but I couldn't. I was like, yeah, we adopted this horse and now he's part of the family. And yeah, call me soft-hearted, but I just couldn't. I was like, well, damn, we have to now figure something out. You know, we adopted the horse. It's a horse that is scared. You know, we rescued her. I think she's still a foal, so we still can do, you know, a lot to like make her worse or make her a lot better. I'm hoping that we were making her a lot better, of course. And I figured, okay, you know what? I'm also looking at like the house, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I just for like in my head, I only just now made it, right? And maybe I did, maybe I did only just now made it, but I very much felt like I was like done looking at the place. I was like, okay, we've been in here now for 16 episodes. You know, we did a lot of stuff. Normally I would like rebuild it more, and I was like, but I don't know into what. Like, how would I change this? Would I then really like move up the outer gym space into the second floor, for example, and then like create like a whole gym floor while we have like a lower floor on the lower floor where we would have like the horse and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I just I'm not feeling it, you know. I was like, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And as you'll see in the background, I was like, okay, well, things won't just be very much luxurious anymore, but maybe what we can do, we can create like this awesome little bit of a house for like we can maybe like create some sort of like a little bit of a ranch house that is like, it doesn't have to be big. There's nothing that we want to do in there, like truly. And we have a lot of space. This is the biggest lot, so this is the 64 by 64 in the horse ranch expansion pack, basically. I already forgot what the name of it is. And yeah, I was like, I think it's a good idea to like separate the teenagers from their parents in a way where they have their own little space while the parents have their, you know, the ranch house. Of course, we were like, okay, what else would we need? I was like, okay, well, I really do enjoy the idea of creating basically what we bought in the last episode, right? We bought a little bit of a ranch space, and it had like outdoor seating, outdoor area for everything. And I was like, okay, yeah, but I want to make like an authentic, like, or authentic is not really the right word, but I wanted to be. I was like, okay, let's make something different. Let's make, you know, just one of those sort of American barns and stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, I have no clue if you can make that, and I'm probably there are a lot of people who can do it a lot better than me in here, but I felt like the need to really like look at things and make it like this. So yeah, I created, I think, in my opinion, something gorgeous for the horses. I created something gorgeous for the girls, right? For the children. I created, you know, a basic little bit of a ranch house for Philip and Deer, of course, you know, the ranch owners. Of course, Deer, it's going to be Deer's ranch. So we're going to have to figure that out. I'm still thinking maybe Philip, you know, does something with his business. I'm not sure yet what it is. I'm also wondering, like, and I would love to hear that in the comments, actually, guys. If there's anything like, you know, us just keeping Philip's progression, but I feel like maybe Philip is becoming the rancher while Dare really does all the work with, you know, getting her things on, right? So then we can have people come in and like work on horses, and then you know, we'll have to mentor them, of course. But I think that could be a good way to keep people in our ranch, basically, and B, you know, just feel proper. I was telling you right now, I already had like a large bug with like the you know, what was residential, was commercial, was you know, staff only. So I was like, okay, I'll just turn it off for me, and you'll see it in a, like, I think it's gonna be in a bit. I'm not 100% certain how far we are, but yeah, no, it's something that we that I will turn off later on in the video, because as you might already see, my the main room in the house, I cannot for the life of me turn that on to like something else. So I was like, okay, it's bugged already. I'll just turn off the lines, and then I'll turn it on a later time. You know, I'll probably before the next episode, I will make sure that I have figured, you know, all of those settings properly. But yeah, no, it's pretty good. I had like 3 different things. I was like thinking, okay, how do we really want to do things? And I figured, okay, so basically, what if this ranch would have had 2 barns, right? And maybe we'll make it into a third one so that we can still have our gym business, or we can, you know, do something with that. But I was like, okay, let's say that they have 2 barns, and one barn is of course a horse barn. But what are they gonna do with the other barns, right? They're with 2 teenagers. They don't really need ranch hands. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's something that we'll look into later, perhaps. And I figured, okay, it would be very cool if we could repurpose, or like make it look repurposed into a, you know, like a proper little building for Luz and for Celeste, where they can basically have privacy in some sort of form or way, at least from their parents, right? So they would have privacy from their parents, and they have just like places to study. They can like make their own food. They can just basically play adult, you know, and have their parents close by if they need help. You know, that's kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, I'm starting to look at like, okay, how are we gonna make this? And I felt like, okay, I'm gonna include my cottage package, or like the cottage living package, and I'm gonna include the horse ranch package, because I was like, okay, already expansion. Because I was like, okay, it could be really fun, right? To just have this really rustic feeling. This is really like, okay, it's old, it's country, it's a little bit mixed from, you know, just pure American ranching to also a little bit more of a European side of, you know, country houses, English cottages, stuff like that. So basically, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it in a certain rustic style, not really related to, you know, a place where we really like get into American or English or anything like that. So I wanted to like give it a good mix of both. And I think it really worked out. I really stumbled. I really do enjoy like the cheap things basically, and or like the cheap counters, and you can turn them into something so beautiful, honestly. And I think in this part, I'll of course show you guys more once we are done. I'll give you a little bit of a tour, and yeah, it will be something where we just go through the rooms and do things differently. I'm also still working, of course, on how do I give you guys the best experience with the whole speed build vibe that we have going on, because I feel like it's becoming one of the, you know, it's something that I want to do. I'm not sure really if I want to do more of. It's more that I do really enjoy having having a little bit of a different sort of things that I do every week. And you know, I of course have my Sunday speed builds, and I was debating on the end of last episode whether or not we should do like a spin-off series with Dare, where she should have a ranch, and it would be that. And maybe that's still something that we'll do, or maybe, well, maybe not in that form, of course, because we're now all here. But I am thinking maybe it's a good idea to take a good look at things. That means it could be cool to have like a Sunday speed build, and on a Monday we have the general Let's Play episodes that I'm not calling them Let's Plays, but basically like the whole normal playthrough videos that I normally do for you guys. And then yeah, I have something ready for Wednesday, something else. It might be more building, but it might also be like a little bit of tutorial or something like that. I'm not 100% certain yet. Maybe it's gonna be like a completely different, like maybe it's gonna be it could be a pack legacy challenge or like a legacy challenge of some sort on a different skill than we have been doing right now. Of course, it's not really a challenge per se. Basically, we wanted to of course like get somewhere with this, right? I didn't want to make a Rags to Riches challenge. I didn't want to make an entire thing about it. I just wanted to show you guys something less fabricated than, okay, here we have a very hard challenge, and of course I started with rules, and I think I followed some of them and I forgot about most of them. But like, you know, it's something that I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, you know, everywhere I see challenges, I see like stuff like that. So maybe instead of like, I don't want to do that in my main save right now with you guys, right? Of course I have more saves, but what I will say, I'm thinking maybe that on Wednesdays we do some sort of a challenge, basically, where we you know, figure something out. Maybe we do, you know, a challenge that, you know, is very, or like thought about from or is a creative process from, you know, another YouTuber or streamer. But yeah, no, I'm not sure yet what we'll do, but perhaps there's gonna be the Wednesday slot to like diversify my content in a way that, you know, we just see different stuff, but also still the same, you know, because tutorials and me, I as you may, if you may look at like my earlier videos, right? I created a lot of gameplay 3D videos for action roguelites, and I also did like a few like proper things here and there in terms of like a tutorial or playing you know, playing the tutorial like so you don't have to, or I did like you know, how to win the game easily for Magicraft or with these easy spells. Those things still get views, but I feel like I am not great at creating a tutorial. It might be just something to my own confidence related, where I'm like, okay, do I do I feel like I'm really knowledgeable enough to really create, you know, content that will help others in a way that is for these games, right? Can I really make a game tutorial that will help someone really achieve something? And I think for The Sims 4, maybe, but it doesn't come to mind. I can, of course, like, tell you the ways to min-max things, but in my experience, and I think many people will experience that in The Sims 4, is the more you min-max, the less fun the game becomes. Because, you know, strictly speaking, if you do really min-max things, you'll never enjoy the story that Sims tells. And you'll never really grasp what you're doing, because it becomes boring. You'll become like, okay, there's not much that Sims has to offer. But that's not the case. In Sims 4, there's so much things that you can find and that you can do and you can feel and you can experience. And all of those things you're gonna miss if you just min-max. Even though I am quite min-maxy, I say this right now. You know, I'm very much like, okay, how do we do things? And I think it's one of the things right now that I'm trying to like work on again. I noticed about our playthrough where I was like, okay, hey, I'm feeling like we were stagnating a little bit because we have all the cash in the world, we have everything that we want to do. You know, Philip is completely done with this and that. Of course, we are working on getting our Celeste to, you know, be proper, like in school. And now I was like, okay, yeah, but school is not something. Basically, I of course wanted to do more in the high school pack, and I can't because it is so buggy that, you know, The Sims is just not letting me. It's one of the worst, or like the worst. hear me speak. No, which one of the worst things of The Sims 4 is of course the bugginess, and yeah, I felt like, okay, we needed a change of pace. I thought we had that with the whole high school pack, but we didn't. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I was looking at this and I was like, okay, but I can't now just, you know, like delete this horse. Like I can't delete this horse. Like that's gonna go away from existence. It's a beautiful white horse. I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's something in my heart was like, okay, this is now, you know, this is now in. She's not part of the family, or I'm not even sure, you know, I didn't even check. But like the horse is part of this Sims family, and I was like, yeah, we need to figure that out. We need to look at things and really like experience the story that Sims 4 tells, and the story that I hope to tell to you with The Sims 4. So yeah, I'm promising that I'm gonna be a little bit less min-maxy. One thing that will help with that, of course, is that I have never, like, I bought the horse expansion pack. I think it must be during a sale, but not at the time that it came out, because I was like, I am not a horse girly. I don't know what to do with any of this, and but I did enjoy like looking at the nectar making, right? It's like a different sort of potion thing. If you guys are spotting a theme, then yeah, there is one. And I felt like, okay, you know, it could be really worthwhile looking at that. And it was on sale, and I bought it, and I think I bought it before I even started The Sims 4 recording on YouTube. So it was like something that I would wanted to explore for myself, but I haven't yet. So I'm hoping that with all of that, I can like guide you guys through like the mistakes that I'm making, and like, you know, tell the story that way, right? Where we can really just figure out like, how does this work? How does this seem to like, where does it end, right? Where does the whole nectar making begin? Where does the ranching end, and all that kind of stuff? So no, I'm very happy to like explore this spec right now, even though it's very late, and I realize it's not gonna be like this one of these hype things that I could really ride the coattails on when I started this the Sims 4 episodes, where, you know, I realized that I had a lot of views for people that wants to see what you could do with the businesses and hobbies. And of course, that's no longer the case. But I'm really am enjoying The Sims 4 still. So I'm thinking, yeah, this will be a great chapter for the YouTube family that we have created of the Applewoods. And yeah, I feel like that's something that we're exploring more. In the meantime, I get better at building. I get to like improve myself in all of these things in The Sims. I will admit that some parts are definitely not up there yet. Like I had so much trouble making the main house. I was like so happy with everything that happened in the house of Celeste and Luz, right? I mean, it was very simple. I was like, okay, they need a place to study, they need a place to chill, they need their own little spot. But I was also like, it's a shed, right? So it's very small. And I'm looking like at the main house, I'm like, damn. What do I even do with like, do I make a fireplace? Where do I put a television? What do I, what is the thing that I want to do, right? And I found it very tough. I didn't have a straight answer. And that's something that like I kind of had for like the Luz and Celeste shed, where I was like, okay, it's a shed. They need bathrooms. They need a kitchen space where they can eat. They don't need it. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's not the main house. It's literally a shed that they rebuilt or repurposed, right? But then like, okay, yeah, this ranch is made for living, right? Or like this is where a rancher comes to chill and like enjoy his time off. And I was like, oh damn, what do I make, right? What do I create here? So I'm pretty happy with how the living room like ended up. I'm also, I wasn't really certain on what to do, so you see me like move around a little bit, like figure some other stuff out. And then there are still some things that I will change as we go through the game. But the ideas of the main ranching house was super tough. I couldn't really figure it out. I only knew that I wanted like to have a basement for nectar production, and I also wasn't certain whether or not I, how to do it. One of the things that I did do in this ranch house was, use less of the subtle flying saucer lighting. Oh man, that's a tongue breaker. I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like it's old, right? It's not. This is not a ranch that they just built. This is a ranch that they got in, but they repurposed like apart, So they did do their stuff, but they didn't really want to change it too much. They of course bought a horse on a whim, and now they're here with like the issues that is there. So yeah, no, I figured, okay, we'll make it fairly simple. We will create something that's still like sort of old. And yeah, you see me think a lot where I'm like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do next? You won't see this much in the recording because it, of course, it's sped up to times 4.5 times. But you see me a lot of pausing and breaking where I am like, okay, I need to figure something out. So I was like looking at pictures in between, and I was like, okay, maybe I should go. I took my dog for a walk, thinking about like, how do I even figure this out? I'm very happy that I did some landscaping. I'm not too happy with all of it, but I'm pretty happy with how some things worked. And I figured, okay, let's do some more terrain tool. I'm slowly figuring out that it can really add something. It can add some flavor, right? It can add some feeling to like the whole thing. And I think I did that well. I think maybe I didn't do everything in like the order that I should have done it. Maybe it should have been much more, looking at things. But sometimes it's better to, whenever you work, is to, instead of finishing one thing, is to look at something and think, okay, hey, I need fresher eyes. So let's give you guys a little bit of a look through. Of course, we start with the ranch a little bit. So with our beloved shed, I guess. This is our ranch I'm gonna keep the camera here for a moment because it is stuttering a lot. But basically, this is how our ranch looks. I'm noticing, we have a lot of. I added some stuff. I also forgot to add them in the other things, but for now I'll keep it that way. Here we can have plenty of stuff basically going on. So it's something like pretty good. This is where our horses will be most of the time. I added 2 balls. I'm not sure. We have this whole place for us to like figure out on what we want to do. So I believe that we can use this to train. Otherwise, we can make a little bit of a something over here maybe, or like something over here. And we also of course have this field, so we can really like utilize this place as much as we want. Now we of course have. I'm gonna show you actually first the shed. So this is the shed. Our shed is this is the place where Luz and Celeste will stay for the unforeseeable future. They will basically be here until they become, I guess, university students. Depending on how things go, I'm thinking maybe we leave the ranch with Celeste once she goes to college, to really like give us something new again. So it means that during this playthrough, we'll work towards that, basically making sure that that Celeste is ready to become that great university students that we all wants to be. It's a fairly simple design. We have our our bathroom, and on the sides here we have a Luz and Celeste bedroom. We of course have a little bit of a seating area for stuff to do. I felt like this could be like a great thing to add. Maybe I have to add some more details to this. So maybe like a few like makeup things that could be here, or maybe like a book or something. But just make sure that it's a little bit less empty right now. I feel like I was really happy with it, and then I realized there's no clutter. And then of course we have our beloved kitchen. I'm really happy with how this kitchen looks. Basically, it gives them plenty of space to really like have dinner somewhere. It also makes it fairly easy to go hard elsewhere. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. And I think this is gonna be a perfect like a little bit of a bachelor pad basically for them. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for them to start using this. This is what we'll mainly hang out when we get Celeste to her right place, but we'll also of course look at the at our beautiful main house. So it's a little bit tough. I couldn't really find the space and things to do here in this little hallway. So it is what it is. I didn't just want to like barge into the homeroom gym and then like go into here. But yeah, let's take a look at this. We have our home gym, and then we have our beautiful kitchen where you enter. The kitchen is open. I put in a wall here. I figured that would be like good. I'm thinking, can I actually? Yeah, I can do this. Very good. So we have a wall here that's like in the that will like keep this all together. I'm not sure how I managed to make this work. So don't ask me how, but it did. Yeah, and I think it's a pretty cozy kitchen. I thought about a few things. Basically, it's a good idea to go from your fridge to your table to your to either your prepping station. So basically, fridge, prepping station, and then to your the way that you can clean, and then you can go to your food preparing station basically, and then like actually prepare it on the stove. It's a one way to like look at like how to optimize your kitchen strategy. Of course, in The Sims 4 it doesn't make sense, but it is something that does help me with like a little bit of the design of things. Also, all of these look different colors. They are all exactly the same color, so it's just lighting over here that makes this happen. And of course, I wanted to add like a little bit of a bar, so I wanted them to really have some place to eat their brunch or their dinner or their breakfast. I created a little bit of a like I wanted to do something in this middle space, and I felt like okay, yeah, of course they have a little bit of a bar, but it would be so much better if you can actually host people and like have a good meal, right? So I figured let's have like a good dinner table to like separates the two sides. It's a large dinner table. It doesn't have a lot of things going for it other than that. It's really purely like making sure that the room is becoming a little bit more filled and also more separated than it is with the open floor plan. Because here we head into our beloved, seating area, our living room. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I'm pretty. If I look at it, maybe I turn this around a little bit, but we can do so at a later time. I'm pretty happy with it, and of course we also have the bedroom. This is it's a very simple bedroom. I wanted to keep everything very simple, even if they're used to having a lot, right? They're very much used to having a lot of cash spend on things that they like, but now they are going into the ranch life, and I'm thinking, it will offer them some hard times. It will be less beautiful. It will be, you don't have a home library anymore, but they still have an ensuite bathroom. I didn't think about, if we have a sleepover somewhere, and it has a lot to do with the fact that right now you just can't. If you want to sleep over, you have to get the hay here, or you gotta wait till Celeste and Luce are, out of the house. So I feel like, okay, they're not gonna repurpose another thing. Didn't want to make, another alcove out here. I was like, no, we're done, right? We're done. So so this is kind of like it's there, and they're the only ones who should use this toilet. So pretty much all good. I was thinking maybe add like a toiletry somewhere on the farm, maybe like an authentic outhouse, because of course there are gonna be people here that will want to pee. So we'll figure that out. I'm not sure yet how we'll do it. Maybe we put it somewhere over here, but I don't want to like have it in the entrance over there. So yeah, I think that's basically a good thing. Of course, we also did a full downstairs section. So we created this whole downstairs place. I created like a little bit of a, we can actually store Nectar here, but it also has like this environment where I hope that things become great Nectar. I'm not sure how it actually works, so we'll have to figure that out together. But yeah, so all in all, a lot of work. Once again, these are all the same color, and yet they look completely different. It's all because of lighting, and it's okay. It is what it is. I'm not really certain how that works for downstairs there, but it is what it is. And I put some plants outside. I also chose to keep all the shrubbery and all the forestry basically on here, and that will and together with, of course, this gate. I really wanted to like have this gate in here, make sure that it just looked beautiful properly. I decided to add my houses there because I wanted to make sure that there was at least some form of like rhyme or reason to it. And I also wanted to keep the some space in the middle for her horses to pass and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, maybe we'll build like a little bit of a like whatever this is, but we build it over here, see how far we can get. So yeah, now we look at the roofing. Something that I am, of course, pretty terrible with, but I'm pretty happy with how things turned out. I think this just fits completely. I couldn't get this little thing to go away, but keep this. So I was like, okay, I'll just not look at it. I didn't add like windows everywhere because didn't feel right really. And then we have our little shed that we redone. So yeah, of course, it's not on a foundation. It's not something special. It's just basically we just redid it. It still has the the shed paneling on it from the same as the barn, and it has the same outside color. But we did like move away from the windows. We added in a different door, and I figured, yeah, it just looks a little proper. There are some things that make this like sort of the same thing, but then different. And I added here the open doors because it just makes things easy, and figured, what, they all need some fresh air, and in our heads these can all be closed and opened as we want them to, right? So yeah, that's basically a little bit of going through things. I hope I didn't elongate this too much, but I wanted to really like give you guys a proper trip through the new ranch. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this episode, if you did enjoy, do you enjoy this type of content, please let me know in the comment down below, and leave a like and subscribe. It would help me out tremendously. So goodbye, see you next time.